Introduction. Don't doubt yourself, you can do it. Self-doubt is one of the most common yet limiting psychological barriers that people experience, often preventing them from taking action, pursuing their dreams and recognizing their true potential. It manifests in various ways: hesitation before making decisions, fear of failure, imposter syndrome, the need for external validation, or the tendency to underestimate one's skills and abilities. Many people find themselves stuck in a cycle of overthinking, second-guessing, and procrastination, all fueled by an internal voice that constantly questions their worth and capabilities. The root of self-doubt is deeply ingrained in human psychology and social conditioning, often stemming from past experiences, societal expectations, or comparisons with others. From an early age, individuals are conditioned to seek approval from external sources: parents, teachers, peers, or employers, which creates a reliance on outside validation rather than fostering self-trust. This dependence weakens the ability to confidently make decisions, take risks, or embrace challenges, leaving individuals paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. Don't doubt yourself. Eliminate Self-Doubt is a transformative guide designed to help readers recognize and dismantle these self-imposed barriers by adopting practical strategies to build confidence, embrace self-awareness, and develop a resilient mindset. Through actionable steps and mindset shifts, the book aims to help individuals break free from the limiting beliefs that hold them back, allowing them to take bold steps toward their personal and professional goals. A central idea explored in this book is the realization that self-doubt is not an unchangeable trait, but rather a learned behavior that can be unlearned. Confidence is not something people are born with; it is developed through practice, experience, and deliberate action. The book challenges the misconception that one must feel completely confident before taking action, emphasizing that confidence is built by stepping outside of one's comfort zone and proving to oneself, through experience, that they are capable. By taking small, manageable steps toward their goals, individuals can gradually reshape their mindset, reducing fear and uncertainty over time. One of the most damaging effects of self-doubt is that it distorts perception. People tend to focus on their weaknesses while overlooking their strengths, magnify failures while downplaying successes, and compare themselves unfairly to others. In the age of social media, this issue has become even more prevalent, as individuals constantly measure their worth against the carefully curated highlights of others' lives, reinforcing the false belief that they are not good enough. This book encourages readers to shift their focus inward, assessing their own progress based on personal growth rather than external validation. By recognizing and celebrating even small achievements, individuals can start to build a foundation of self-trust, which is essential for overcoming doubt. Another key principle covered in the book is the power of self-awareness. Understanding the root causes of self-doubt, whether past failures, negative self-talk, or fear of judgment, is the first step toward overcoming it. Through techniques such as mindfulness, journaling, and cognitive reframing, readers can begin to identify and challenge the negative thought patterns that fuel doubt. Often, self-doubt is based on irrational fears rather than reality, and by consciously questioning these limiting beliefs, individuals can start to replace them with more constructive and empowering perspectives. The book also emphasizes the importance of surrounding oneself with positive influences. The people we interact with daily can either reinforce self-doubt or help us build confidence. Toxic relationships, critical environments, or unsupportive social circles can make doubt worse, while supportive mentors, friends, and colleagues can provide the encouragement and affirmation needed to develop self-belief. Learning to set boundaries and distance oneself from negative influences is a crucial step in fostering a more confident and self-assured mindset. Beyond mindset shifts, Don't Doubt Yourself provides concrete strategies that can be implemented in daily life to actively combat self-doubt. One such approach is the practice of visualization, mentally rehearsing success and positive outcomes rather than dwelling on failure. Studies have shown that visualization can significantly boost confidence by training the brain to expect success rather than anticipate fear or hesitation. Similarly, adopting confident body language such as maintaining good posture, making eye contact, and using a strong, clear voice can have a profound impact on how individuals perceive themselves and how others perceive them. The book highlights that confidence is not just about what one thinks, but also about how one presents themselves to the world. Authentic communication is another essential aspect of building confidence and eliminating self-doubt. Many people struggle with expressing their thoughts, setting boundaries, or asserting themselves in conversations due to fear of being judged or rejected. This book teaches readers how to communicate with clarity, honesty, and assertiveness while maintaining respect for others. By learning to express their needs, opinions, and values without fear, individuals can strengthen their self-worth and build stronger, more meaningful relationships. One of the most important lessons emphasized throughout the book is that self-doubt thrives in inaction. The longer one hesitates or overthinks, the stronger self-doubt becomes. Taking action, no matter how small, is the key to breaking free from its grip. The book encourages readers to adopt a mindset of progress over perfection, understanding that mistakes and failures are not indicators of incompetence but valuable learning experiences that contribute to growth. Many highly successful individuals have faced self-doubt at some point in their lives, but what sets them apart is their willingness to move forward despite uncertainty. By consistently challenging themselves, embracing discomfort and pushing through fear, individuals can develop an unshakable belief in their abilities. In essence, don't doubt yourself. Eliminate self-doubt is not just about removing doubt, it is about replacing it with courage, resilience, and a deep-rooted sense of self-trust. It is about shifting from a mindset of hesitation and fear to one of confidence and action. Through a combination of self-awareness, positive habits, and deliberate practice, anyone can develop the confidence needed to pursue their goals, express their ideas, and live a more fulfilling life. The book serves as a reminder that self-doubt is not a permanent condition but a mindset that can be transformed with the right tools and mindset shifts. By committing to personal growth, embracing challenges, and trusting in their own abilities, readers can step into their power and live with greater confidence, clarity, and purpose. Chapter 1. Understanding Self-Doubt. Self-doubt is a deeply ingrained mental pattern that prevents individuals from fully embracing their potential, causing hesitation, fear, and a lack of confidence in their own abilities, which in turn affects every aspect of life, from personal relationships to career choices, creative pursuits, and decision-making processes. It is a psychological barrier that keeps people from taking risks, speaking up, or pursuing their dreams, not because they lack the talent, intelligence, or ability to succeed, but because they have convinced themselves, consciously or subconsciously, that they are not good enough, that failure is inevitable, or that they do not deserve success. But where does this crippling sense of doubt originate? For many, self-doubt takes root in childhood, shaped by the expectations and judgments of parents, teachers, and peers. A child who is frequently criticized, compared to others, or made to feel that their efforts are never enough may grow into an adult who constantly questions their own worth, always seeking external validation before making decisions. Similarly, past failures and negative experiences reinforce self-doubt. If someone has faced rejection, made mistakes, or struggled with setbacks, they may begin to believe that these experiences define them, creating a fear of trying again in order to avoid the pain of repeated disappointment. Furthermore, societal pressures and unrealistic standards contribute to self-doubt, particularly in an age where social media constantly presents curated, filtered versions of other people's lives, making it easy to compare oneself unfavorably and feel inadequate in comparison. The modern world glorifies success while often hiding the struggles and failures behind it, leading individuals to believe that confidence and achievement come naturally to others while they alone struggle with doubt and uncertainty. This illusion fuels imposter syndrome, a phenomenon in which people, no matter how skilled or accomplished, feel like frauds who will eventually be exposed as undeserving of their success. They attribute their achievements to luck rather than competence, downplay their accomplishments, and live in constant fear that they are not as capable as others perceive them to be. However, what most fail to realize is that self-doubt is not a sign of inadequacy but rather a universal human experience. Even the most successful and confident individuals have moments of uncertainty, but what sets them apart is their ability to move forward despite their doubts, rather than allowing those doubts to control their actions. Understanding self-doubt begins with recognizing that it is a learned mindset, not an inherent trait, and like any habit, it can be unlearned and replaced with a more empowering belief system. One of the most important steps in overcoming self-doubt is identifying the specific thoughts and triggers that reinforce it, paying attention to moments of hesitation, the inner dialogue that plays on repeat, and the subconscious fears that hold one back. Often, self-doubt is fueled by cognitive distortions such as black and white thinking, believing that anything less than perfection is a failure, catastrophizing, assuming the worst will happen, or personalizing, believing that every setback is a direct reflection of one's worth. By recognizing these thought patterns, individuals can begin to challenge them, asking themselves whether their doubts are based on reality or simply long-held fears and insecurities masquerading as truth. Another crucial aspect of understanding self-doubt is recognizing its physiological impact. Doubt triggers the brain's fight-or-flight response, releasing stress hormones that create feelings of anxiety, tension, and hesitation, making even small decisions feel overwhelming. This is why self-doubt often leads to procrastination. When the brain perceives a task as a potential source of failure, it seeks to avoid the discomfort by delaying action, which in turn reinforces the cycle of doubt. Breaking free from this cycle requires shifting focus from perfectionism and fear of failure to growth and progress, realizing that mistakes are not evidence of incompetence but stepping stones toward mastery. Additionally, surrounding oneself with positive reinforcement plays a vital role in overcoming self-doubt. The opinions and attitudes of others can either fuel insecurity or inspire confidence, which is why it is essential to cultivate relationships with people who encourage, uplift, and challenge limiting beliefs rather than reinforcing them. At its core, self-doubt is an internal battle between fear and self-trust, and the more one chooses to trust themselves, take action despite uncertainty, and celebrate even small victories, the weaker doubt becomes. True confidence is not the absence of doubt, but the ability to move forward despite it, and by understanding the roots, triggers, and impact of self-doubt, individuals can begin the journey toward transforming their mindset, breaking free from hesitation, and stepping into a life of greater confidence, self-assurance, and success. Chapter 2. The Psychology of Confidence. Confidence is often perceived as an elusive quality that some people naturally possess while others struggle to develop, but in reality, confidence is deeply rooted in psychology, shaped by thoughts, experiences, and behaviors, making it a skill that can be cultivated rather than an inherent trait reserved for a lucky few. At its core, confidence is the belief in one's abilities, decisions, and worth, allowing individuals to take action despite uncertainty, setbacks, or fear of failure, and it is this psychological resilience that separates those who succeed from those who remain paralyzed by doubt. The foundation of confidence begins in the brain, particularly in the interplay between the prefrontal cortex, which governs decision-making and rational thought, and the amygdala, which is responsible for processing fear and emotional responses. When self-doubt arises, the amygdala perceives challenges or unfamiliar situations as threats, triggering anxiety and hesitation. But confident individuals have trained their minds to override this instinctive fear by engaging the prefrontal cortex, allowing logical reasoning to take precedence over emotional distress. This is why confidence is often linked to exposure and experience. The more frequently one faces a particular challenge, the less threatening it becomes, as the brain rewires itself to recognize that discomfort does not equate to danger. This concept, known as neuroplasticity, explains why confidence can be built over time through repeated practice, exposure, and gradual desensitization to fear-inducing situations. The more someone engages in an activity, whether it be public speaking, decision-making, or leadership, the stronger their neural pathways become in reinforcing self-assurance. However, confidence is not merely a product of external experiences. It is also shaped by internal thought patterns, self-perception, and deeply ingrained beliefs about one's capabilities. Psychologists have identified the phenomenon of self-efficacy, a term coined by Albert Bandura, which refers to an individual's belief in their ability to influence outcomes and achieve goals. Those with high self-efficacy trust in their capacity to handle challenges and persist through difficulties, while those with low self-efficacy doubt their abilities and are more likely to avoid challenges altogether. This is why mindset plays a crucial role in confidence, as individuals who adopt a growth mindset, a term popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, tend to develop higher confidence levels than those with a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is based on the belief that skills, intelligence, and abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance, whereas a fixed mindset assumes that talents are static and unchangeable, leading people to fear failure because they believe it defines their worth. Those with a growth mindset, however, embrace failures as learning opportunities, understanding that setbacks do not determine their abilities but rather provide valuable lessons for improvement. The psychology of confidence is also deeply intertwined with self-talk, or the internal dialogue individuals engage in daily. Studies in cognitive behavioral psychology suggest that negative self-talk, such as statements like, "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail," reinforces self-doubt, while positive self-talk such as, "I am capable," or "I can handle this," strengthens self-belief and resilience. This is why affirmations and visualization techniques are powerful psychological tools for building confidence. When individuals repeatedly tell themselves that they are competent, strong, and worthy of success, their subconscious mind begins to accept these statements as truth, thereby altering their perception of themselves and their capabilities. Additionally, confidence is heavily influenced by past experiences and conditioning. Individuals who have been raised in environments where they were encouraged, supported, and given opportunities to take risks tend to develop higher confidence levels, while those who have faced constant criticism, rejection, or failure without guidance on how to cope often struggle with self-doubt. However, regardless of past experiences, confidence can be cultivated through action, as psychology demonstrates that competence breeds confidence. The more skilled someone becomes in a particular area, the more confident they feel about their abilities. This is why exposure therapy, a technique commonly used in psychology to treat anxiety, is highly effective in building confidence. By gradually exposing individuals to feared situations and allowing them to develop mastery over time, fear diminishes and confidence increases. Another significant factor in confidence psychology is body language, as research in behavioral psychology has shown that posture, facial expressions, and physical presence directly impact self-perception. For example, adopting an open, expansive posture, often referred to as power posing, has been found to increase feelings of confidence and reduce stress hormones, whereas slouched, closed-off body language can reinforce feelings of insecurity and hesitation. Additionally, the dopamine reward system in the brain plays a crucial role in confidence building, as dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with motivation and pleasure, is released when individuals achieve small goals, creating a positive reinforcement loop that encourages continued effort and persistence. This is why setting and achieving small, manageable goals is a powerful psychological strategy for building confidence. Each success, no matter how minor, signals to the brain that progress is being made, reinforcing the belief that one is capable and competent. The social aspect of confidence is also significant, as human beings are inherently influenced by their environment and the people they interact with. Surrounding oneself with positive, supportive individuals who encourage growth fosters confidence, while exposure to negativity, criticism, or toxic relationships can erode self-esteem. This is why social comparison theory, a psychological concept introduced by Leon Festinger, explains how people evaluate their own confidence based on comparisons to others. When individuals compare themselves to those they perceive as more successful, they may feel inadequate, whereas comparing themselves to past versions of themselves can create a more constructive and empowering perspective. The psychology of confidence is also closely linked to emotional regulation, as confident individuals are not necessarily free from fear or self-doubt but have developed the ability to manage these emotions effectively. Techniques such as mindfulness, deep breathing, and cognitive reframing help individuals shift from a state of anxiety to a state of self-assurance, allowing them to approach challenges with a clearer, more focused mindset. Another critical aspect of confidence psychology is the impact of failure on self-perception. While many people view failure as a confirmation of their inadequacy, confident individuals see it as a natural and necessary part of growth, using setbacks as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. This is why resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, is a fundamental component of confidence, as those who learn to persevere through difficulties develop a stronger sense of self-trust and an unwavering belief in their ability to overcome challenges. Additionally, identity and self-image play a major role in confidence psychology, as individuals who perceive themselves as capable, competent, and valuable tend to exhibit higher confidence levels, whereas those who struggle with self-worth often hesitate to assert themselves or pursue their goals. Confidence is also influenced by habit formation, as repeated behaviors and thought patterns create neural pathways that reinforce either self-assurance or self-doubt. For example, consistently practicing skills, engaging in self-affirmation exercises, and taking small, courageous actions can gradually shift one's default mindset from hesitation to confidence. Ultimately, the psychology of confidence reveals that self-assurance is not a fixed trait but a dynamic and trainable skill that anyone can develop through intentional effort, self-awareness, and persistent action. By understanding the cognitive, emotional, and behavioral factors that contribute to confidence, individuals can take control of their mindset, rewire their brains for success, and cultivate an unshakable belief in their own abilities, proving that confidence is not about never experiencing doubt but about having the courage to move forward despite it. Chapter 3. Rewiring Negative Thoughts. Negative thoughts are one of the biggest obstacles to confidence and personal growth, shaping the way individuals perceive themselves, their abilities, and the world around them, often becoming deeply ingrained mental patterns that fuel self-doubt, anxiety, and hesitation, preventing people from taking action and pursuing their goals. These thoughts, which are often subconscious and automatic, can stem from past experiences, societal conditioning, childhood influences, or even fear of failure, creating a cycle of negativity that reinforces itself over time and makes it difficult to break free from self-sabotaging beliefs. The brain, however, is highly adaptable due to neuroplasticity, meaning that negative thought patterns are not permanent and can be rewired through conscious effort, intentional practice, and self-awareness. allowing individuals to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones that foster confidence, resilience, and a positive mindset. One of the first steps in rewiring negative thoughts is recognizing and identifying them, as many people are unaware of how frequently they engage in negative self-talk or allow their inner critic to dictate their actions. This process involves paying close attention to one's internal dialogue, observing recurring patterns of doubt, fear, or self-criticism, and understanding how these thoughts influence emotions and behaviors. Cognitive distortions, irrational and exaggerated thought patterns, are at the core of negative thinking, with common examples including catastrophizing, assuming the worst will happen, black and white thinking, seeing situations as either total success or complete failure, personalization, blaming oneself for external events, and confirmation bias, seeking out information that reinforces existing negative beliefs. Once these distortions are identified, the next step is to challenge and reframe them, questioning their validity and replacing them with more balanced, constructive perspectives. For instance, instead of thinking, "I always fail," one might challenge this belief by asking, "Is that really true? Have I never succeeded in anything? What can I learn from my past experiences?" This cognitive restructuring process is a key component of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a psychological approach that helps individuals change negative thought patterns by consciously replacing them with healthier alternatives, reinforcing the idea that thoughts are not facts but perceptions that can be reshaped. Additionally, mindfulness and self-awareness play a crucial role in rewiring negative thoughts, as they enable individuals to observe their thoughts without judgment, recognize when negativity arises, and create space between thought and reaction, reducing emotional reactivity and increasing mental clarity. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, and journaling help cultivate this awareness, allowing individuals to track their thought patterns over time and identify recurring themes that need to be addressed. Another effective strategy for rewiring negative thoughts is the use of positive affirmations, which involve deliberately replacing negative self-talk with empowering statements, such as, "I am capable," "I deserve success," or "I am strong enough to overcome challenges." While this may feel unnatural at first, consistent repetition helps reprogram the subconscious mind, gradually shifting self-perception and reinforcing a more positive internal narrative. Visualization is another powerful tool in this process, as the brain responds to mental imagery in a similar way to real experiences. By regularly visualizing oneself succeeding, overcoming challenges, and embodying confidence, individuals can strengthen neural pathways associated with positive self-belief, making it easier to internalize these new thought patterns. In addition to internal strategies, external influences also play a significant role in shaping thought patterns, meaning that surrounding oneself with positive, supportive people who encourage growth and challenge negativity can accelerate the process of rewiring the mind. Engaging in self-compassion practices is equally important, as many people are harsher on themselves than they would ever be to others, reinforcing negative thought cycles through excessive self-criticism and unrealistic expectations. Instead of berating oneself for mistakes, adopting a mindset of self-kindness and understanding can help break the cycle of negativity and foster greater resilience. Developing a growth mindset, as introduced by psychologist Carol Dweck, is another essential step in overcoming negative thoughts, as it shifts focus from fear of failure to the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance, transforming setbacks into opportunities for growth rather than evidence of inadequacy. Furthermore, taking consistent action despite negative thoughts is one of the most effective ways to rewire the brain, as confidence is built through experience and repetition. By proving to oneself that fears and doubts are not accurate predictors of reality, individuals gradually weaken the power of negativity and replace it with self-trust and assurance. The dopamine reward system in the brain reinforces this process, as small achievements trigger the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with motivation and pleasure, encouraging continued effort and making positive thinking a more natural habit over time. Ultimately, rewiring negative thoughts requires patience, persistence, and a commitment to self-improvement, but by consciously challenging limiting beliefs, replacing them with empowering perspectives, and taking consistent action, anyone can break free from the cycle of negativity, cultivate confidence, and unlock their full potential. Chapter 4: The Power of Self-Trust. Self-trust is the foundation of confidence, resilience, and personal growth, shaping the way individuals navigate challenges, make decisions, and pursue their aspirations. Yet many people struggle with trusting themselves due to past failures, societal conditioning, or deeply ingrained self-doubt, leading to hesitation, fear of making mistakes, and dependence on external validation rather than internal certainty. At its core, self-trust is the ability to rely on oneself, to believe in one's own judgment, capabilities, and intuition, even in the face of uncertainty, setbacks, or external criticism, allowing individuals to take ownership of their choices and move forward with conviction rather than being paralyzed by doubt. The psychology of self-trust is deeply linked to self-efficacy, a concept developed by psychologist Albert Bandura, which refers to the belief in one's ability to influence outcomes and handle challenges. When individuals trust themselves, they are more likely to take initiative, persist through obstacles, and embrace growth, whereas those who lack self-trust often hesitate, second-guess themselves, and avoid risks due to fear of failure. One of the key reasons self-trust is difficult to cultivate is that many people have been conditioned to seek approval from others, whether through societal expectations, childhood experiences, or cultural influences, leading to a reliance on external opinions rather than personal intuition. As a result, they may struggle with making decisions confidently, constantly doubting their own judgment and fearing that they will make the wrong choice. However, developing self-trust is essential for true confidence and independence, as it empowers individuals to take responsibility for their lives rather than being at the mercy of others' expectations or opinions, reinforcing the idea that one's own perspective and instincts are valid and worthy of being followed. One of the first steps in building self-trust is self-awareness, which involves understanding one's values, strengths, and limitations, as well as recognizing patterns of doubt, fear, or hesitation that undermine trust in oneself. By becoming aware of these internal struggles, individuals can begin to challenge and reframe their doubts, replacing uncertainty with a more balanced and self-affirming perspective. Additionally, self-honesty plays a crucial role in strengthening self-trust, as it requires individuals to acknowledge their feelings, needs, and desires without judgment, allowing them to make choices that align with their authentic selves rather than seeking external validation or approval. Many people struggle with self-trust because they fear failure, believing that mistakes are evidence of incompetence rather than opportunities for learning and growth. However, reframing failure as a natural and valuable part of the journey helps shift this perspective, reinforcing the idea that setbacks do not define one's worth but rather provide insights that strengthen resilience and wisdom. Taking consistent action is another key factor in building self-trust, as confidence grows through experience and repeated success. Each time an individual follows through on their commitments, takes a step toward their goals, or overcomes a challenge, they reinforce the belief that they can rely on themselves, creating a positive feedback loop that strengthens trust in their own abilities. Conversely, breaking promises to oneself, procrastinating, or avoiding decisions due to fear can erode self-trust over time, making it crucial to develop habits of self-discipline and accountability. Listening to one's intuition is also a powerful tool in cultivating self-trust, as intuition is often an accumulation of subconscious knowledge, past experiences, and internal wisdom that guides decision-making. And while it may not always seem logical, learning to trust and act on one's instincts can lead to greater clarity and confidence. Another essential aspect of self-trust is setting boundaries, as individuals who trust themselves honor their own needs, limits, and priorities rather than compromising their well-being to please others. This involves recognizing when to say no, protecting one's time and energy, and making decisions that align with personal values rather than external pressure. Additionally, self-compassion is crucial in this process, as many people struggle with self-trust because they judge themselves harshly for past mistakes or perceived shortcomings. But treating oneself with kindness and understanding fosters a sense of inner security and confidence that strengthens trust in one's ability to handle life's challenges. Developing a growth mindset, as introduced by psychologist Carol Dweck, is another key component of self-trust, as it shifts focus from fearing failure to embracing learning and adaptability, reinforcing the idea that one's abilities can be developed through effort rather than being fixed or predetermined. Furthermore, surrounding oneself with supportive and encouraging individuals can help reinforce self-trust, as positive influences provide validation and reinforcement that strengthen internal confidence, whereas negative or critical environments can fuel self-doubt and undermine one's ability to rely on themselves. Practicing decision-making is another effective way to cultivate self-trust, as individuals who frequently make choices, even in small matters, build confidence in their judgment over time, gradually reducing hesitation and fear of making mistakes. Additionally, reflecting on past successes and achievements can help reinforce self-trust, as looking back on moments where one has overcome difficulties, made strong decisions, or demonstrated resilience provides tangible evidence of one's own capabilities, countering self-doubt with proof of personal strength. Journaling, self-reflection exercises, and affirmations are also powerful tools for building self-trust, as they help individuals clarify their thoughts, reinforce positive beliefs and track progress over time, making it easier to recognize growth and build confidence in one's own abilities. Ultimately, the power of self-trust lies in its ability to create a deep sense of inner security, allowing individuals to navigate life with confidence, make decisions with certainty, and pursue their goals without being held back by fear, doubt, or external validation. By cultivating self-awareness, practicing self-honesty, embracing failure as a learning tool, taking consistent action, listening to intuition, setting boundaries, and fostering self-compassion, anyone can strengthen their trust in themselves, unlocking their full potential and achieving true self-confidence. Chapter 5. Overcoming Fear of Failure. Fear of failure is one of the most common and deeply ingrained psychological barriers that prevent individuals from reaching their full potential, making decisions with confidence, and pursuing their goals without hesitation. And while failure itself is an inevitable part of life, many people develop an unhealthy relationship with it due to societal conditioning, past experiences, and internalized beliefs that equate failure with incompetence, weakness, or lack of worth, leading to avoidance behaviors, procrastination, self-doubt, and even self-sabotage as a way to protect oneself from the pain of perceived inadequacy. This fear is often rooted in perfectionism, where individuals set impossibly high standards for themselves and believe that anything less than perfection is unacceptable, causing them to either avoid taking risks altogether or experience overwhelming anxiety when faced with challenges. And this perfectionist mindset can create a paralyzing fear that makes people hesitant to step out of their comfort zones, preventing them from embracing opportunities for growth, learning, and success. However, overcoming the fear of failure requires a fundamental shift in perspective, recognizing that failure is not a reflection of one's worth or capabilities but rather an essential component of progress and mastery, as some of the most successful individuals in history, including Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Oprah Winfrey, and J.K. Rowling, experienced significant failures before achieving their greatest accomplishments, proving that setbacks are not the end of the road but rather stepping stones to success. One of the most effective ways to reframe failure is through a growth mindset, a concept introduced by psychologist Carol Dweck, which emphasizes that abilities and intelligence are not fixed traits but can be developed through effort, practice, and perseverance. And by adopting this mindset, individuals learn to view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than threats to their self-worth, making them more resilient in the face of setbacks and more willing to take risks without fear of judgment or inadequacy. Another key strategy in overcoming fear of failure is exposing oneself to failure in controlled ways, meaning that instead of avoiding situations where failure is possible, individuals can intentionally take small risks, try new things, and step outside their comfort zones in manageable increments, gradually desensitizing themselves to the discomfort of failure and proving to themselves that setbacks are not as catastrophic as they may seem in their minds. Additionally, normalizing failure as a natural part of success is essential, as many people only see the highlights of others' achievements without recognizing the struggles, mistakes, and rejections they faced along the way. So by studying the stories of successful individuals and embracing the idea that failure is an expected and even necessary part of the journey, individuals can shift their perspective from fearing failure to understanding its value. Another powerful technique is self-compassion, as fear of failure is often fueled by harsh self-criticism, unrealistic expectations, and the belief that one must always succeed to be worthy. But by treating oneself with kindness, patience, and understanding, just as one would support a friend going through a difficult time, individuals can reduce the emotional impact of failure and build resilience in the face of setbacks. Reframing failure as feedback rather than a final outcome is another crucial step in overcoming this fear, as every mistake or setback provides valuable lessons, insights, and opportunities for improvement. And by shifting from a mindset of "I failed, therefore I am not good enough," to "This experience taught me what doesn't work, so I am now better equipped to succeed," individuals can transform failure from something to be feared into a powerful tool for personal and professional development. Additionally, developing a habit of taking action despite fear is essential, as waiting for fear to disappear before pursuing goals is an unrealistic expectation, and the truth is that confidence is built through action. By repeatedly facing challenges and proving to oneself that failure is survivable, individuals strengthen their resilience and reduce the power that fear holds over them. Mindfulness and emotional regulation techniques, such as deep breathing, meditation, and cognitive reframing, can also help individuals manage the anxiety associated with failure, allowing them to approach challenges with a clearer and calmer mindset rather than being overwhelmed by fear-based emotions. Building a support system is another critical factor in overcoming fear of failure, as surrounding oneself with encouraging and understanding individuals, mentors, coaches, friends, or family members, can provide reassurance, perspective, and motivation during difficult times, reinforcing the belief that failure does not define one's worth or potential. Furthermore, challenging irrational beliefs about failure is necessary, as many people develop exaggerated fears based on unrealistic assumptions such as, if I fail, people will judge me, failure means I am not capable, or one mistake will ruin my chances forever. And by logically questioning these beliefs and replacing them with more balanced perspectives, individuals can reduce the hold that fear has on them. Another effective approach is visualizing success and resilience, as the brain responds to mental imagery in a similar way to real experiences. So by regularly imagining oneself overcoming challenges, handling setbacks with confidence, and learning from mistakes, individuals can rewire their subconscious beliefs about failure and build a stronger, more confident mindset. Breaking down large goals into smaller, manageable steps can also reduce the fear of failure, as many people feel overwhelmed by the pressure of achieving big ambitions. But by focusing on incremental progress rather than perfection, they can build momentum and develop a sense of accomplishment along the way. Additionally, celebrating small wins and acknowledging progress helps reinforce the idea that success is a journey, not a single event, and that each step forward, no matter how small, brings valuable experience and personal growth. Lastly, embracing uncertainty and taking calculated risks is essential for overcoming fear of failure, as life is inherently unpredictable, and waiting for absolute certainty before taking action leads to stagnation. So by accepting that setbacks are part of any meaningful pursuit and focusing on what can be controlled, individuals can move forward with greater confidence and resilience. Ultimately, overcoming fear of failure is not about eliminating failure altogether but about changing one's relationship with it, learning to see it as an inevitable and even beneficial aspect of personal development rather than something to be feared or avoided. And by cultivating a growth mindset, practicing self-compassion, challenging limiting beliefs, taking consistent action, and embracing the lessons that failure provides, anyone can break free from the paralyzing grip of fear and unlock their full potential. Chapter 6: Taking Action Despite Fear. Taking action despite fear is one of the most transformative principles in personal development and success, as fear is an inherent part of the human experience, often serving as a natural response to the unknown, the unfamiliar, or perceived threats. It has the power to hold individuals back from their potential, preventing them from taking risks, seizing opportunities, and stepping into their true capabilities. Fear, whether it manifests as fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, or fear of the future, can paralyze the mind, create self-doubt, and generate procrastination, leading people to avoid making decisions or taking action altogether. The truth, however, is that fear is not an indication of inability or impending failure but rather a signal that one is about to push past their comfort zone and into personal growth. The most successful individuals across various fields are not those who do not experience fear, but rather those who have learned how to take action despite it, using fear as a motivator rather than a deterrent. The key to taking action despite fear lies in changing the relationship with fear itself, understanding that it does not have to be eliminated to move forward, but rather embraced as a normal, even necessary, part of the journey. Fear is often a sign that you are doing something important or meaningful, something that stretches your limits and forces you to grow. And when viewed from this perspective, fear can become a powerful ally in the process of self-discovery and achievement. The first step in taking action despite fear is to acknowledge the fear without judgment. Often, people try to suppress or deny their fear, thinking that they should be fearless to be successful, but this only creates internal resistance and makes the fear stronger. Instead, by recognizing and accepting that fear is a natural response to stepping out of one's comfort zone, individuals can reduce the emotional charge associated with it, making it easier to move forward. For instance, acknowledging, "I am afraid, but that doesn't mean I can't do this," allows individuals to separate their emotions from their actions, making it easier to take steps forward even in the presence of fear. Identifying the source of the fear is another important aspect of taking action. Sometimes, fear arises from a clear source such as past failures, a traumatic event, or fear of judgment from others, but in other cases the fear may feel more nebulous or undefined, causing hesitation and indecision. By carefully reflecting on the root cause of the fear, whether it stems from a lack of knowledge, a fear of failure, or an internalized belief of inadequacy, individuals can gain clarity on the underlying thoughts and beliefs fueling the fear. This awareness is crucial because once the source of the fear is identified, it can be addressed or reframed in a way that makes it less intimidating. One way to tackle fear is by challenging the negative beliefs that accompany it. For example, someone who is afraid of speaking in public might have internalized the belief that they will fail, look foolish, or be judged harshly by the audience. By confronting these negative thoughts and replacing them with more rational and supportive ones, such as, "I have valuable information to share," or "Even if I make a mistake, it's okay, I'm human," individuals can reframe the fear into a more manageable, less paralyzing force. Another crucial technique for taking action despite fear is breaking the task down into smaller steps. Fear often arises when a task feels overwhelming or too daunting, and when individuals look at the entire goal or challenge at once, it can create a sense of paralysis. By breaking down a large goal into smaller, more manageable steps, it becomes easier to take the first step, which is often the hardest. These smaller tasks feel more achievable and less intimidating, and completing each small step can help build momentum and reduce the power of fear. Each accomplishment, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that the goal is attainable, which gradually builds confidence and reduces the fear that initially seemed insurmountable. Taking the first step is often the most crucial and the most challenging part of overcoming fear. Once the first action is taken, the fear usually diminishes and momentum builds. The longer an individual hesitates, the more time fear has to grow, create doubt, and cause inaction. By committing to just one small action, even if it feels insignificant, the individual takes a vital step toward achieving their goal and breaking free from the grip of fear. This action before confidence approach is often recommended, as it helps to combat the paralyzing effects of fear, proving to oneself that it is possible to act even when one feels uncertain. Visualizing success is another powerful tool in overcoming fear and taking action. When individuals imagine themselves succeeding in their endeavor, they create a mental image of positive outcomes, which can help reduce anxiety and make the task feel more achievable. Visualization activates the same neural pathways in the brain as actual experience, making the desired outcome feel more familiar and less intimidating. In addition, seeing oneself succeeding helps to create a positive association with the action, reinforcing the belief that taking the necessary steps will lead to success rather than failure. Embracing failure as part of the process is another important shift in mindset that helps individuals take action despite fear. Many people are afraid to fail, believing that failure reflects a personal shortcoming or an indication that they are not good enough. However, failure is often a stepping stone to success. It provides valuable feedback, lessons, and opportunities for growth that can only be gained through experience. By reframing failure as a natural and valuable part of the journey, individuals can reduce their fear of it and approach challenges with a mindset of curiosity and learning, rather than dread and avoidance. Building resilience also plays a crucial role in taking action despite fear. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, learn from failures, and keep moving forward in the face of adversity. Each time an individual takes action despite fear, they build their resilience and reinforce their belief that they are capable of handling challenges, no matter what happens. Resilience is developed through experience, and the more individuals confront their fears and take action, the stronger their resilience becomes. Another important aspect of overcoming fear is surrounding oneself with supportive people. Fear can often feel isolating, and when individuals are facing challenges alone, the fear can seem more daunting. Having a support system of friends, mentors, coaches, or family members who believe in the individual's abilities and provide encouragement can be incredibly motivating. These supportive individuals can offer perspective, help reframe negative thoughts, and provide the reassurance needed to continue moving forward. Focusing on the process, not just the outcome, can also reduce fear and help individuals take action despite it. Often, the fear of not achieving a perfect outcome can prevent individuals from even starting. However, by focusing on the process itself, the effort, the learning, and the growth, rather than obsessing over the end result, individuals can take the pressure off themselves and shift their focus toward what they can control. This approach reduces anxiety and encourages continuous progress, regardless of the immediate results. Practicing self-compassion is also vital when taking action despite fear. Fear often brings up feelings of inadequacy, self-criticism, or self-doubt, making it more difficult to act. However, by being kind to oneself, forgiving mistakes, and recognizing that it is okay to be imperfect, individuals can create a supportive internal environment that allows them to keep moving forward, even when fear arises. Being compassionate with oneself helps to reduce the shame and frustration that fear often creates, making it easier to take action without the added burden of negative self-talk. Taking action despite fear is not about eliminating fear altogether but about learning to coexist with it and using it as a catalyst for personal growth. It is about moving forward in spite of uncertainty, trusting that progress will be made step by step. By acknowledging the fear, challenging limiting beliefs, breaking goals into smaller steps, embracing failure as feedback, and focusing on the process, individuals can build the courage and resilience needed to take action, overcoming the paralyzing effects of fear and unlocking their potential. In doing so, they develop a deeper sense of self-trust and confidence, empowering them to take on bigger challenges and continue growing as they achieve their dreams. Chapter 7: Breaking Free from Comparison. Breaking free from comparison is a crucial step in the journey to self-confidence and personal growth, as the habit of constantly measuring one's worth against others can be a significant source of anxiety, self-doubt, and dissatisfaction. Comparison often begins innocently enough. We look at others and wonder how we measure up, whether it's in terms of success, appearance, talents, or accomplishments. However, when comparison becomes a regular part of one's thought process, it can distort our perception of our own worth and lead to negative emotional states such as envy, inadequacy, frustration, and insecurity. The problem with comparison is that it fails to account for the full complexity of someone else's life, ignoring the unique context, struggles, and challenges they may have faced. We tend to compare our behind the scenes with others' highlight reels, failing to see the effort, failure, setbacks, or hard work that might have gone into their success, and this skewed view can lead us to feel as though we are falling short or not measuring up in ways that simply aren't true. Furthermore, comparison often fosters a sense of competition rather than cooperation, and it can prevent individuals from celebrating their own progress and achievements because they are too focused on how they stack up against others. This habit of comparing ourselves to others is particularly exacerbated in the age of social media, where curated versions of people's lives are constantly displayed, showing only the best moments, the most glamorous aspects, and the apparent success without showcasing the struggles, setbacks, or realities of everyday life. When people see others' perfect lives, they may feel inadequate or believe that they are not achieving enough, despite the fact that everyone has different paths and timelines for success. However, breaking free from the cycle of comparison requires a deep understanding of the impact it has on one's mental and emotional well-being and the ability to shift focus inward rather than outward. Self-awareness is the first step in breaking free from comparison, as recognizing the patterns of comparison and acknowledging the negative feelings they generate is essential for initiating change. When individuals notice themselves slipping into comparison, they can consciously choose to shift their focus to their own journey, achievements, and growth, rather than measuring their success against others. This awareness is the foundation upon which healthier habits and mindsets can be built, enabling individuals to move forward with a sense of self-worth that isn't reliant on external validation. Another important aspect of breaking free from comparison is embracing individuality. Each person's path is unique, and what works for one individual might not work for another. Everyone has different strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities that shape their journey, and recognizing that one's progress is not a race or competition but a personal evolution can be empowering. Instead of fixating on how others are doing, individuals can focus on their own goals, passions, and values, which will allow them to make progress on their own terms. One effective way to stop comparing oneself to others is to practice gratitude for one's own life and accomplishments. By focusing on what is going well in one's own world, whether it's relationships, health, personal growth, or professional achievements, individuals can shift their attention away from the perceived shortcomings that arise from comparison. Gratitude fosters a sense of abundance and satisfaction, making it easier to appreciate one's unique journey and accomplishments without feeling threatened by others' successes. Additionally, redefining success is an important part of breaking free from comparison. When individuals base their self-worth on societal or external measures of success, such as wealth, status, or popularity, they are more likely to fall into the trap of comparing themselves to others. By creating a personal definition of success, one that aligns with individual values, passions, and desires, people can stop measuring their achievements against external benchmarks and focus on their own path. This new, individualized definition of success allows for greater fulfillment, as it is rooted in personal values rather than in the constantly shifting standards of others. Cultivating self-compassion is another key factor in overcoming comparison. When people compare themselves to others, it is often accompanied by harsh self-criticism or feelings of inadequacy, which can prevent them from recognizing their own worth. Practicing self-compassion allows individuals to be kinder to themselves, to acknowledge their strengths and weaknesses without judgment, and to treat themselves with the same understanding and empathy that they would offer to a friend. This shift in how individuals relate to themselves reduces the emotional damage caused by comparison and fosters a more positive and realistic self-image. Another important technique is to limit exposure to comparison triggers, particularly in the age of social media, where constant comparisons are often fueled by curated content and idealized portrayals of other people's lives. Individuals can take intentional breaks from social media, unfollow accounts that trigger negative emotions, or adjust their online habits to create a healthier relationship with technology. By limiting exposure to sources that trigger feelings of inadequacy or envy, people can protect their mental health and create space for self-reflection and personal growth. Additionally, celebrating others' success can be a powerful way to break free from comparison. When individuals shift their mindset from competition to celebration, they allow themselves to appreciate others' achievements without feeling threatened by them. Rather than viewing someone else's success as evidence of personal failure, they can choose to see it as inspiration or motivation to continue working toward their own goals. This shift in perspective fosters a sense of community and mutual support, rather than isolation and rivalry. Another powerful way to stop comparing oneself to others is to focus on personal growth and progress. Everyone is on their own unique journey, and it's important to measure success by personal milestones and improvements, not by how far others have gone. Individuals can focus on their own development by setting small, achievable goals, tracking progress, and celebrating their victories along the way. This way, the focus is on continual growth rather than external validation. Moreover, embracing imperfection is crucial when breaking free from comparison. Perfection is often the root cause of comparison, as individuals feel as though they need to meet unrealistic standards to be valued or successful. Understanding that imperfection is a natural part of the human experience allows individuals to embrace their flaws, mistakes, and learning processes. This mindset shift helps to break the cycle of comparing oneself to others and fosters a more authentic and self-accepting way of living. Finally, seeking inspiration, not comparison, is an important mindset shift. While comparing oneself to others can lead to feelings of inadequacy, seeking inspiration from others can provide motivation without the negative emotional fallout. By seeing others' successes as a source of inspiration rather than a benchmark, individuals can use those examples to fuel their own journey, learning from others while maintaining a healthy sense of self-worth. Ultimately, breaking free from comparison is about shifting the focus from external validation to internal fulfillment, embracing individuality, and cultivating self-compassion. By practicing gratitude, redefining success, and focusing on personal growth, individuals can free themselves from the toxic cycle of comparison and develop a healthier, more authentic relationship with themselves. When individuals stop comparing themselves to others, they are able to recognize their own value and progress, appreciate their unique path, and experience greater joy and fulfillment in the process of becoming the best version of themselves. Chapter 8. Developing Daily Confidence Habits. Developing daily confidence habits is one of the most effective ways to build long-term self-assurance and inner strength, as confidence is not something people are simply born with but rather a skill that can be cultivated and reinforced through consistent, intentional practices. Many individuals struggle with self-doubt, insecurities, and feelings of inadequacy, but the truth is that confidence is not an inherent trait. It is a habit, a mindset, and a series of small, repeated actions that collectively shape the way one views oneself and interacts with the world. Confidence is built over time through consistent effort, self-awareness, and positive reinforcement, and by integrating small, confidence-boosting habits into daily life, individuals can create a strong foundation of self-belief that remains resilient even in the face of challenges. One of the most powerful daily habits for developing confidence is practicing positive self-talk, as the way individuals speak to themselves directly impacts their beliefs, emotions, and actions. Negative self-talk, such as self-criticism, doubt, or harsh internal judgment, can undermine confidence and create mental barriers that prevent growth, whereas replacing negative thoughts with affirming, empowering statements can shift one's mindset and reinforce self-worth. Simple phrases such as, "I am capable," "I believe in myself," or "I am constantly improving" can help reshape the inner dialogue, fostering a more confident and self-assured mindset. Another essential confidence-building habit is setting and achieving small goals, as confidence grows when individuals experience success, no matter how minor. By setting small, realistic goals each day and following through on them, individuals can build a sense of accomplishment that reinforces their belief in their own abilities. These goals do not have to be monumental. Even completing simple tasks such as making the bed, finishing a workout, or sticking to a daily routine can create momentum and build self-trust. Over time, small achievements accumulate, strengthening the belief that one is capable of following through on commitments and achieving larger aspirations. Maintaining good posture and body language is another effective way to develop confidence, as the way individuals carry themselves can influence how they feel. Studies have shown that adopting strong, open, and assertive body language, such as standing tall, making eye contact, and using expansive gestures, can create a physiological response that enhances confidence and reduces stress. Simply adopting a power pose for a few minutes each day or being mindful of posture throughout daily activities can significantly impact self-perception and the way others perceive an individual's confidence. Additionally, practicing self-care and maintaining a healthy lifestyle can have a profound effect on confidence levels, as physical health is deeply connected to mental well-being. Engaging in regular exercise, eating nutritious foods, staying hydrated, and getting adequate sleep all contribute to improved energy levels, mood, and overall self-esteem. Exercise in particular has been shown to release endorphins that boost mood and increase feelings of self-efficacy, reinforcing the idea that taking care of one's body leads to a greater sense of self-worth and confidence. Another powerful habit for developing confidence is stepping outside of one's comfort zone on a daily basis as Chapter 8. Developing Daily Confidence Habits. Developing daily confidence habits is one of the most effective ways to build long-term self-assurance and inner strength, as confidence is not something people are simply born with but rather a skill that can be cultivated and reinforced through consistent, intentional practices. Many individuals struggle with self-doubt, insecurities, and feelings of inadequacy, but the truth is that confidence is not an inherent trait. It is a habit, a mindset, and a series of small, repeated actions that collectively shape the way one views oneself and interacts with the world. Confidence is built over time through consistent effort, self-awareness, and positive reinforcement, and by integrating small, confidence-boosting habits into daily life, individuals can create a strong foundation of self-belief that remains resilient even in the face of challenges. One of the most powerful daily habits for developing confidence is practicing positive self-talk, as the way individuals speak to themselves directly impacts their beliefs, emotions, and actions. Negative self-talk, such as self-criticism, doubt, or harsh internal judgment, can undermine confidence and create mental barriers that prevent growth, whereas replacing negative thoughts with affirming, empowering statements can shift one's mindset and reinforce self-worth. Simple phrases such as "I am capable," "I believe in myself," or "I am constantly improving" can help reshape the inner dialogue, fostering a more confident and self-assured mindset. Another essential confidence-building habit is setting and achieving small goals, as confidence grows when individuals experience success, no matter how minor. By setting small, realistic goals each day and following through on them, individuals can build a sense of accomplishment that reinforces their belief in their own abilities. These goals do not have to be monumental. Even completing simple tasks such as making the bed, finishing a workout, or sticking to a daily routine can create momentum and build self-trust. Over time, small achievements accumulate, strengthening the belief that one is capable of following through on commitments and achieving larger aspirations. Maintaining good posture and body language is another effective way to develop confidence, as the way individuals carry themselves can influence how they feel. Studies have shown that adopting strong, open, and assertive body language, such as standing tall, making eye contact, and using expansive gestures, can create a physiological response that enhances confidence and reduces stress. Simply adopting a power pose for a few minutes each day or being mindful of posture throughout daily activities can significantly impact self-perception and the way others perceive an individual's confidence. Additionally, practicing self-care and maintaining a healthy lifestyle can have a profound effect on confidence levels, as physical health is deeply connected to mental well-being. Engaging in regular exercise, eating nutritious foods, staying hydrated, and getting adequate sleep all contribute to improved energy levels, mood, and overall self-esteem. Exercise in particular has been shown to release endorphins that boost mood and increase feelings of self-efficacy, reinforcing the idea that taking care of one's body leads to a greater sense of self-worth and confidence. Another powerful habit for developing confidence is stepping outside of one's comfort zone on a daily basis as Chapter 9. The Role of Body Language in Communication. Body language and communication are fundamental to how confidence is perceived and experienced, both by the individual and those around them, as nonverbal cues often speak louder than words and can significantly influence interactions, relationships, and personal success. While verbal communication conveys thoughts and ideas, body language, comprising posture, gestures, facial expressions, eye contact, and tone of voice, plays an equally crucial role in shaping perception, self-assurance, and influence. People unconsciously interpret nonverbal signals to determine a person's confidence level, emotional state, and sincerity, meaning that mastering body language is essential for developing strong communication skills and self-assurance. One of the most vital aspects of confident body language is posture, as standing tall with shoulders back and an open stance projects authority, self-belief, and presence, whereas slouching or shrinking one's body can signal insecurity, discomfort, or lack of conviction. Maintaining an upright yet relaxed posture communicates confidence and allows an individual to take up space in a way that asserts their presence without appearing aggressive. The way people move and carry themselves also plays a role in perception. Those who walk with purposeful strides, maintain a stable stance, and exhibit deliberate hand gestures tend to exude more confidence than those who appear hesitant or fidgety. Power poses, such as standing with hands on hips or sitting with a wide, relaxed posture, have been scientifically proven to boost confidence by increasing testosterone levels and reducing cortisol, the stress hormone, reinforcing the idea that adjusting body language can have a direct impact on internal confidence levels. Additionally, eye contact is one of the most powerful nonverbal communication tools, as steady, intentional eye contact signals attentiveness, honesty, and confidence, whereas avoiding eye contact or constantly looking down can give the impression of nervousness, uncertainty, or disengagement. The key to effective eye contact is balance. Staring too intensely can come across as aggressive, while frequent averted glances may make an individual seem unsure or untrustworthy. Instead, maintaining natural, engaged eye contact for a few seconds at a time can help create rapport and demonstrate confidence in both personal and professional settings. Gestures also play an essential role in communication, as open, controlled hand movements help emphasize points, make speech more engaging, and create a sense of enthusiasm and clarity, whereas crossing arms, fidgeting, or hiding hands can signal defensiveness, anxiety, or hesitation. Purposeful hand gestures, such as using open palms to convey honesty and using rhythmic movements to emphasize speech, can make an individual appear more confident and persuasive. Similarly, facial expressions play a significant role in projecting confidence, as a relaxed, friendly expression combined with a genuine smile can make a person seem more approachable, trustworthy, and self-assured, while excessive tension in the face, pursed lips, or an overly serious expression can create unnecessary barriers to effective communication. A smile, even in high-pressure situations, can help create an aura of ease and confidence, making interactions feel more natural and positive. Another key component of confident communication is vocal tone and speech patterns, as a strong, clear, and well-modulated voice conveys authority and self-assurance, whereas speaking too softly, too fast, or with an uncertain tone can diminish credibility. The way people speak, whether their voice is steady and measured or filled with hesitation, affects how their message is received, and developing a confident voice requires practicing controlled breathing, pacing speech effectively, and emphasizing key points with variations in tone. Speaking too quickly can make an individual seem anxious or unprepared, while speaking too slowly may come across as lacking energy or conviction, so finding a natural rhythm with well-placed pauses can enhance communication and ensure clarity. Assertive communication is another fundamental element of confidence, as it involves expressing thoughts, needs, and opinions clearly and respectfully without aggression or passivity. Using I statements such as "I feel" or "I believe," rather than accusatory language, fosters constructive dialogue and reinforces self-assurance. In addition, active listening is just as important as speaking, as individuals who listen attentively, nodding, maintaining eye contact, and responding thoughtfully, are often perceived as more confident and competent because they demonstrate control, patience, and engagement in conversations. Confidence is not just about speaking assertively but also about making others feel heard and valued, which strengthens relationships and social influence. Another powerful technique for enhancing confidence in communication is mirroring, which involves subtly imitating the body language, tone, or speech patterns of the person one is interacting with, as this creates a sense of connection and rapport, making interactions feel more natural and comfortable. However, mirroring should be done subtly and authentically rather than exaggeratedly, as forced imitation can come across as insincere or awkward. Personal space and movement also contribute to confident body language, as individuals who take up space and use deliberate, controlled movements project greater self-assurance than those who shrink or engage in nervous behaviors such as pacing or fidgeting. Understanding and respecting personal space in different social or cultural contexts is important, as standing too close or too far from someone can impact the perception of confidence and comfort. One of the most effective ways to build confidence in communication is through preparation and practice, as individuals who feel well prepared for conversations, speeches, or presentations tend to communicate more effectively and with greater ease. Practicing responses, rehearsing key points, and visualizing successful interactions can help reduce nervousness and improve delivery, as confidence grows with experience. Engaging in public speaking, role-playing conversations, or recording oneself speaking can provide valuable insights into areas for improvement and reinforce self-assurance. Moreover, embracing mistakes and learning from them is essential in developing confidence in communication, as no one is perfect, and even the most skilled communicators encounter setbacks. Instead of dwelling on errors or allowing them to shake confidence, viewing them as opportunities for growth and refinement can help build resilience and adaptability. Mistakes should be treated as learning experiences rather than failures, allowing individuals to approach future interactions with greater self-trust and ease. Another critical aspect of confident communication is emotional intelligence, which involves being aware of one's own emotions, as well as understanding and responding effectively to the emotions of others. People who can regulate their emotions and communicate with empathy tend to navigate conversations with greater confidence, as they can adjust their tone, language, and approach based on the needs of a given situation. Managing anxiety and nervousness through mindfulness, deep breathing, or positive visualization can help maintain composure in high-pressure conversations or public speaking engagements. Confidence in communication also extends to digital and written interactions, as tone, word choice, and structure all contribute to how messages are received in emails, texts, and online conversations. Using clear, direct language, maintaining professionalism, and avoiding excessive qualifiers, such as "I think" or "maybe," can enhance the perception of confidence in written communication. Ultimately, mastering body language in communication is a lifelong skill that requires continuous awareness, practice, and refinement, as confident individuals are not those who never experience self-doubt but rather those who know how to manage it effectively and present themselves with assurance and clarity. By focusing on strong posture, steady eye contact, purposeful gestures, clear vocal tone, active listening, assertiveness, and emotional intelligence, anyone can develop a powerful presence that enhances their confidence and influence in both personal and professional interactions. Confidence is not about perfection but about embracing authenticity, communicating effectively, and trusting in one's ability to handle any conversation or situation with poise and self-assurance. Chapter 11. Setting and Achieving Goals. Setting and achieving goals is a fundamental aspect of building confidence, self-discipline, and success, as goals provide direction, purpose, and motivation, helping individuals move forward with clarity and determination rather than feeling lost or stagnant. And the process of setting meaningful goals begins with identifying personal aspirations, breaking them down into actionable steps, and developing a mindset that fosters persistence and resilience in the face of obstacles, because without clear goals, it is easy to drift through life without a sense of progress or fulfillment, whereas having specific, well-defined objectives creates a roadmap for success and provides a tangible way to measure growth, which is why goal setting should always start with self-reflection, as individuals must take the time to understand their values, strengths, and long-term desires in order to set goals that truly resonate with them, rather than pursuing objectives based on societal expectations, external pressure, or fleeting motivation. And one of the most effective frameworks for setting achievable goals is the SMART goal method, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, ensuring that goals are clearly defined, realistic, and accompanied by a deadline that creates urgency and accountability, because vague or overly ambitious goals without a clear action plan often lead to frustration, procrastination, and self-doubt, whereas breaking goals into smaller, manageable steps makes them more attainable and allows for steady progress, boosting confidence along the way. And once a goal is established, developing an action plan is crucial, as successful goal achievement does not happen by chance but rather through deliberate effort, planning, and consistency, meaning that individuals must outline the steps required to reach their goal, allocate time and resources accordingly, and remain flexible in their approach while staying committed to the overall objective, as challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but the ability to adapt and persevere is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. And maintaining motivation throughout the journey requires finding a strong why behind the goal, as having a deep, personal reason for pursuing a goal serves as a powerful source of inspiration and resilience, especially during difficult moments when self-doubt or external challenges arise. And another essential factor in goal achievement is accountability, as sharing goals with a trusted mentor, friend, or accountability partner can increase commitment and provide encouragement, support, and constructive feedback, helping individuals stay on track and push through obstacles with a sense of responsibility to both themselves and others. and in addition to external accountability, self-discipline plays a vital role in goal achievement, as success is not solely determined by talent or luck but by the willingness to take consistent action even when motivation wanes, because habits and daily routines significantly impact progress, meaning that individuals must cultivate discipline by setting clear priorities, eliminating distractions, and maintaining a growth mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities for learning rather than as reasons to quit. And overcoming the fear of failure is another crucial aspect of goal setting, as many people hesitate to pursue their dreams due to a fear of making mistakes, experiencing setbacks, or facing criticism. But the reality is that failure is an inevitable part of any meaningful journey, and viewing it as a learning experience rather than a defining moment of defeat can help individuals build resilience, adjust their strategies, and continue moving forward with even greater determination, because every successful person has encountered failures along the way, yet their ability to learn from mistakes, refine their approach, and persist despite setbacks is what ultimately led them to success. And tracking progress is another effective strategy for staying motivated and ensuring steady advancement toward goals, as regularly reviewing milestones, celebrating small wins, and acknowledging growth helps reinforce a sense of accomplishment and builds confidence in one's ability to achieve bigger goals in the future. And visualization and positive affirmations can also be powerful tools in goal achievement, as mentally picturing success, repeating empowering statements, and focusing on the desired outcome can strengthen belief in one's capabilities and keep motivation high, reinforcing the idea that mindset plays a critical role in turning aspirations into reality. And while setting and achieving goals requires effort, patience, and resilience, the sense of fulfillment and confidence gained from accomplishing personal objectives makes the journey worthwhile, as success is not just about reaching the destination but about who a person becomes in the process of striving for their goals. And by setting clear intentions, maintaining focus, embracing challenges, and staying committed to self-improvement, anyone can develop the discipline, confidence, and determination needed to turn their dreams into reality. Chapter 12: Maintaining Confidence for Life. Confidence is not a destination but a lifelong journey, requiring continuous effort, self-awareness, and intentional habits to sustain it through life's inevitable ups and downs. Because while building confidence is a crucial step, maintaining it is even more important, as life presents constant challenges, changes, and uncertainties that can either strengthen or weaken self-belief depending on how they are navigated, which is why true, lasting confidence must be deeply rooted in self-trust, resilience, and a commitment to personal growth rather than external validation or temporary successes. Because when confidence is solely dependent on achievements, appearance, or the approval of others, it becomes fragile and unstable, easily shaken by criticism, setbacks, or unexpected failures, whereas confidence built on self-acceptance, inner strength, and a growth mindset remains strong even in the face of adversity, allowing individuals to push forward despite obstacles. So one of the most effective ways to maintain confidence for life is to develop a habit of self-reflection and self-awareness, regularly assessing personal strengths, progress, and areas for growth while recognizing that confidence is not about being perfect but about embracing imperfection and continuously improving. Because those who maintain confidence long-term understand that mistakes and failures do not define them, but rather, they serve as valuable learning experiences that contribute to growth, and this mindset allows individuals to remain adaptable and resilient in any situation, as they do not allow temporary setbacks to erode their self-worth. And another key aspect of lifelong confidence is surrounding oneself with positive influences, because the people we interact with daily, whether friends, family, mentors, or colleagues, can either uplift and encourage us or drain and diminish our confidence, which is why maintaining a strong support system of like-minded, growth-oriented individuals is essential for reinforcing self-belief and staying motivated. And in addition to external influences, internal dialogue plays a major role in long-term confidence, meaning that individuals must cultivate the habit of positive self-talk, challenging and replacing self-doubt with affirmations, empowering beliefs and constructive thoughts, because the way we speak to ourselves directly impacts our level of confidence. And those who maintain lifelong confidence consistently remind themselves of their worth, capabilities, and past achievements rather than dwelling on insecurities or negative experiences. And another crucial factor is the ability to embrace change and uncertainty with an open mind, as confidence is often tested during transitions such as career changes, relationship shifts, or personal challenges. And those who thrive in these situations are the ones who view change as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat to their self-esteem, understanding that stepping outside of their comfort zone is necessary for continued success and fulfillment. and physical well-being also plays a significant role in maintaining confidence, as regular exercise, a balanced diet and adequate rest contribute to mental clarity, emotional stability and overall self-esteem, reinforcing the connection between body and mind, because when individuals take care of their physical health, they naturally feel stronger, more energized and more confident in their abilities. Which is why prioritizing wellness is a fundamental part of sustaining self-belief, and practicing gratitude is another powerful tool, as individuals who regularly reflect on their accomplishments, strengths, and the positive aspects of their lives cultivate a mindset of abundance and self-appreciation, reducing the tendency to compare themselves to others or focus on what they lack, because gratitude shifts perspective from self-doubt to self-assurance, reinforcing the belief that confidence is not about having everything figured out but about appreciating progress and continuing to strive for excellence. And maintaining confidence also requires taking consistent action toward personal and professional goals, as confidence is built and sustained through experience, growth, and achievement, meaning that those who continuously challenge themselves, seek new opportunities, and push beyond their limits develop a deep sense of self-trust that carries them through life, because confidence is not static, it must be nurtured, exercised, and reinforced through action, and the more individuals prove to themselves that they are capable, the more naturally confident they become, which is why lifelong learners, those who continuously seek knowledge, skills, and self-improvement, tend to maintain higher levels of confidence, as they remain curious, adaptable, and open to new possibilities, refusing to let complacency or fear of failure hold them back. And another vital component of maintaining confidence is setting and enforcing personal boundaries, as individuals who respect their own time, energy, and values develop a stronger sense of self-worth, preventing them from being taken advantage of or manipulated by external pressures. And this ability to say no, prioritize personal well-being, and focus on what truly matters reinforces a sense of control and confidence, ensuring that self-esteem remains intact regardless of outside influences, and ultimately maintaining confidence for life is about embracing the mindset that confidence is not about being fearless, never failing, or always having the right answers, but rather, it is about believing in one's ability to handle whatever comes their way, trusting in their resilience, and committing to continuous growth. So by practicing self-awareness, surrounding themselves with positivity, engaging in lifelong learning, prioritizing well-being, and taking consistent action toward their goals, individuals can cultivate a deep, unshakable confidence that remains strong throughout every stage of life, allowing them to navigate challenges with grace, pursue their dreams with determination, and live authentically with unwavering self-belief. Conclusion. Confidence is not an innate trait reserved for a select few but a skill that can be developed, nurtured, and maintained throughout life, and as explored in this book, the journey to self-confidence begins with understanding self-doubt, rewiring negative thoughts, and embracing the power of self-trust, because overcoming fear of failure, taking action despite fear, and breaking free from comparison are essential steps in cultivating a strong, unwavering belief in oneself. And confidence is not about never feeling afraid or uncertain but about learning to push forward despite those feelings, developing the resilience to face challenges head-on and continue striving toward personal and professional goals. And the key to lifelong confidence lies in daily habits, positive self-talk, and surrounding oneself with the right people who encourage growth and success rather than drain energy or instill doubt. And understanding the role of body language and communication further strengthens self-assurance, as the way individuals present themselves influences both their internal belief system and how others perceive them, reinforcing the idea that confidence is a combination of mindset, action, and external influences, and setting and achieving meaningful goals plays a critical role in building confidence, as every milestone accomplished serves as proof of one's capabilities, reinforcing self-belief and creating momentum for even greater success, because confidence is not just about what one thinks but also about what one does, meaning that action is the driving force behind growth, and those who take consistent steps toward their aspirations, challenge their own limits, and embrace continuous self-improvement are the ones who develop deep, lasting confidence. And maintaining this confidence for life requires a commitment to self-awareness, resilience, and adaptability, understanding that setbacks and failures are not indicators of inadequacy but rather stepping stones to greater achievements, and by cultivating a mindset that welcomes challenges, learns from mistakes, and refuses to be defined by external validation, individuals can create an unshakable foundation of self-belief that remains strong regardless of circumstances. And ultimately, confidence is about embracing authenticity, recognizing one's worth, and stepping boldly into the world with the belief that success is possible. And this book has provided the tools, strategies, and insights needed to break free from self-doubt, build unbreakable self-trust, and sustain confidence in every area of life. But the true transformation happens when these principles are put into action, applied consistently, and integrated into daily life, because confidence is not built overnight, nor is it a fixed state. It is a journey that requires patience, effort, and the willingness to keep pushing forward, even in the face of uncertainty, and by committing to this journey, embracing challenges as opportunities for growth and refusing to let fear dictate choices, anyone can develop the confidence needed to achieve their dreams, live authentically, and create a life filled with purpose, success, and fulfillment.